Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to another Truth for Today. I'm Pastor Mike, coming to you from the Lighthouse Baptist Church here in Seagrove, and we hope today's devotional thought will find you doing very well. We're taking our reading today from the book of Galatians, chapter number 5 and verse number 17, and today I want to talk to you about the battle. The everyday battle that goes on in the life of the heart of a child of God. Here's what Paul said in Galatians 5:17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are the contrary one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. Here's what Paul is teaching you and I. When God saves us, He saves our soul. However, we are still left with our flesh, what the Bible calls our flesh, which is not a reference to your skin. It's not a reference to the material composition of who you are. It's a reference to your old Adamic nature. You're left with that. However, when you got saved, you and I know that immediately upon your conversion, as Paul said in Ephesians chapter 1, that we are sealed with the spirit of promise until the day of redemption. So inside of every child of God right now, you have the flesh and you have the spirit. And they're contrary one to the other. In other words, they're always in opposition to each other. You're going to want to, as a Christian, to do the right thing, but you'll always find opposition working against you. There'll be many times where your flesh also will want to do its own thing, and it'll find working in opposition to it, the spirit. And so sometimes we hear the old analogy like this. It's like locking two Rottweilers in a cage. There is going to be a territorial battle that goes on. And that's exactly what is taking place in your life and my life right now. If you're born again, there is a territorial battle going on. The flesh wants control, the spirit wants control, and they are at odds one with another. So when you feel that, when you experience that battle, don't become overly defeated in your mind thinking I'm the only one going through this. No, the reality is every believer goes through it. Let me give you a secret on how you win it, okay? Let's go back to that analogy. Let's just say you had two Rottweilers in a cage, and every day for 90 days you fed one and you didn't feed the other. Who's going to get stronger? And who's probably going to win more battles than not? Here's what I promise you. Whatever you feed, whether it be the spirit man or the fleshly man, will get stronger. Whatever you feed will grow. And so today, if you're a carnal-minded believer, meaning that you're saved, but you're 10 times more about pleasing the flesh and living in the flesh, well, then it just means you're feeding the flesh. But if you're a spirit believer or spirit-filled believer, it means you're feeding the spirit and starving the flesh. And can I say, the pathway that Christ wants us to take is to walk in the spirit. How do you do that? You got to feed the spirit. So the goal and the recipe for successful Christian living is feed the spirit daily with the word and with prayer and with preaching and with good, healthy fellowship. Starve the fleshly man of his desires, of his ways, of his fallen depravity, which he loves to tap into. I hope today this will give you perspective on your battle. And more than anything, I hope it will help you learn how to win that battle. Paul would go on to say this, if we walk in the Spirit, we shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. He wouldn't have said that if it wasn't possible, and it is. And this, my friend, is the recipe. Understand it, and then do something about it. Hope today's devotional thoughts will encourage you, give you a little bit of grit for the road ahead, and as always, we want them to richly bless you. That is our prayer.